the flies ride swerving down here. I promise my money ain't hurting now, chill. I got it wrapped like a turban down here. I got them trap boys serving down here. Got cars, got clothes, got fame. Got bars, got flows, got game.
Greetings and welcome to another edition of Seamless Style, powered by Politics and Polaroids. I'm your host, Mr. Parker. All right. So, had a setback when it pertains to this particular episode. Went to record last week to get this episode out for you in the typical timely manner, which is Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. on Patreon. And I was dressed, everything was done, ready to go. And my tripod was broken. Don't know how it happened. But I wasn't tripping as far as the tripod being broken per se, because that tripod, I got my money's worth out that tripod, right? I got my money's worth out of it. I had that same tripod for at least 3 years, right? And yeah, it got used at least twice a week for 3 years. So I wasn't really tripping on the fact that it was broken and then like I had just bought it or something. But it was just the timing of it, and that falls on me. I had waited to the last minute to record, and so there was no opportunity to get a tripod in here and record and have it posted by Saturday morning. All right, so I had to, leave a little video and audio voice note on Patreon letting you guys know that there wouldn't be an episode last Saturday. All right, but I digest. We're here and we're ready to rock and roll. All right, now this episode is inspired by an icon. All right, this gentleman was and is a romantic comedic actor, right? One of the best to ever do it, right? One of the best to ever do it. Not only is he an actor, but he's also well known for, he has one hit record, right? But it may be one of the biggest hit records ever done, right? Ever recorded, ever released. This guy is a true icon. I would venture to say he's a man's man. Ladies, the females like him a lot, right? The females like him a lot. He and he can appreciate a thicker woman, right? So just that level of machismo per se, I would say he's a guy's guy, right? As far as I know, no type of controversies in his past or whatever. Just by always been solid, standing 10 toes, right? Standing 10 toes. In the immortal words of the legend, the icon, Kermit the Frog, it's not easy being green. It's not easy being green. So this is a episode, all right? We're going to feature the color green, all right? Now, there quite possibly could be another green episode during the spring and summer, because during the spring and summer you have more hues you can play with. right? You have more shades of green that you can play with. We just left fall and are in winter. All right. May not seem like it by the temperatures, may not seem like it by the inclement weather or lack thereof, but we are in winter. All right. So there's only so bright your hue of green should be at this point. All right. But again, we're featuring green. All right. So I got 3 rigs for you today, plus the ensemble I'm wearing. All right. Start at the bottom. I broke out the Crest loafers. All right. Pretty much any brown dress casual loafer will do. Doesn't necessarily have to be leather. It could be suede. It could be a snuff. I thought about breaking out the snuffs because of the overcoat here. But I went with these because I did want a wider shoe, right? I feel like this look calls for a wider dress shoe, right? The Crest loafers in the brown, right? Beautiful rustic looking footwear. Hosiery, I went with Argyle socks, college gray base with college green and aviator navy diamonds, right? The trousers, wool flannel trousers by Rugby Ralph Lauren, a dark tan base, right? Almost a rust brown, with all over GTH embroidered skull and bones, all right? The original Rugby logo, all right? And a nice grape. My shirt is a cream tattersall spread collared sport shirt. My necktie is a 100% wool flannel tie. All right, barleycorn tweed, and my featured piece is a cricket sweater. All right, wool, college green, white heathered, with a plaid purple and college gray chevron, as well as around the wrist, right above the ribbed cuffs. All right. And then I finished the look off with a plaid pea coat with a shearling lining shawl collar and a indigo denim double RL baker's cap. Okay. This look is very rustic. All right. I would venture to say the look is a rustic English countryside type look, or countryside look, not necessarily rustic chic, because I don't really have on anything that will be considered chic under the rustic chic flag. All right. But very comfortable, very stylish English countryside look, something I could wear anywhere. All right. First thing I want to do is show honorable mentions. All right. These 2 pieces were very close to making the episode today, but I went different routes on the rigs, but I wanted to show these pieces off as well. All right. This first piece is college green, a rustic wool type, cable knit, and it has the deer logo with the majestic leaves around the deer head logo. All right. A nice V-neck sweater that, I mean, this would work with the ensemble I'm wearing. If I wanted to switch out the sweater, this would work perfectly. There's just many different ways to style this particular sweater here. Like I said, just did not make the cut this go round. And then the other piece did not make the cut because I'm pretty sure I'll be doing a Nordic episode at some point this winter, and this may need to be used. but this piece did not make the cut here. But again, college green base, beautiful fall winter hues in our Nordic pattern, including ruby red, white, and some dark navy blue, some dark aviator navy. All right. Toggle enclosure on the quarter button. All right. Just a nice, beautiful piece that, like I said, the only reason this piece did not make the cut for this episode is because I am pretty sure that I am going to do a Nordic episode at some point this winter. All right. Now, fragrance of the ensemble is a no-brainer. All right. Fragrance of the ensemble is a no-brainer. We went with the new Polo cologne. All right. The new Polo cologne, Polo green, or what we like to call it. But this was a no-brainer. This is a hue episode, and our featured hue is green. If this was a hue episode and our featured hue was blue or black, then obviously I'm going to go with Polo blue or Polo black or Polo double black. You get where I'm going with this. Same with the reds. Now the reds, I'd have more options, obviously. But yeah, man, this was a no-brainer. All right. If I had the original, the Godfather, the original Polo green, the original Polo cologne, I may would have went with that one. All right. I'd have had a choice. I'd have had two options, but it works. It also works. You know, that's just more so being cute, as far as, you know, this episode is featuring green. The cologne is green. So that's more so just being cute. But as far as the actual fragrance is concerned, that pine, that wood, that small hints of vetiver, it fits perfect for every single ensemble in this episode. All right. And without any further ado, you're about to see that for yourself. All right. So, y'all ready? Me too. Man, let's go. Now, for our first look, we have an everyday vibe. All right. And when we're talking about fall or winter, this particular look is an everyday vibe. It could be anywhere from going out running a few errands to just spending the day outside enjoying being alive, right? Again, green is our feature, and I think we definitely achieved our goal here, right? Nothing too fancy schmancy, as they would say. Nothing on that level. Like everything is just clean and concise, right? But it does have a vibe to it, right? It does have a vibe because of the vintage sports coat, the color palette on the sports coat, right? The weathered look of our greens. It definitely gives Southern country vibes, right? But it could be worn in the big cities. You could definitely pull this off in Midtown or Chicago, somewhere like that. You could definitely pull it off in the big cities, Uptown Charlotte, things like that. But, you know, all of the pieces themselves just lend to a more country laid back style from an era gone by, right? From a bygone era. But just a beautiful Ralph Lauren look, right? This is print ad worthy. This ensemble is print ad worthy, right? And I'm standing on that. But let's start at the bottom, man, because I want y'all to really get the entire look of this vibe, right? Because of our sports coat, right? All of the details in our sports coat, there was really only one pair of shoes in my extensive collection that I was going to be willing to go with. All right. And that is the Chase saddle shoe. All right. So I pulled out the Chase saddle. I pulled out the Chase saddle shoe. Right. In the buck and Gurkha leather saddle. All right. A dress casual type of shoe. You know, this shoe will never be mistaken as a full-on dress shoe, but a dress casual type of shoe. Very rustic, laid back country type vibe to it. All right. So that's why I say it just lends itself perfectly to the sports coat and the overall look itself. Hosiery, I pulled out navy asymmetric socks. All right. French navy mixed with aviator navy and asymmetric dots in a dark creamish yellow all over. All right. Something subtle and laid back, a different color as opposed to the main color of the Hupasole, which is green. All right. But something that, you know, if you sit down and cross that leg over, it's going to make sense to the viewer. All right. Scroll up. Went with the weathered slim fit chinos, all right, in a weathered college green. All right. Weathered meaning that there's a faded look to it. Okay. So a weathered college green. Our shirt is a chambray shirt with a club collar, with a rounded collar. Our necktie is a wool flannel plaid beauty here. Very thick necktie, extremely close pattern to our sports coat. All right. Now, our other piece of green that we have is an icon. All right. The Indian Springs Indian Head crew neck sweatshirt. All right. Beautiful V-neck insert here. Stitching just oozes that vintage sweatshirt vibe here. All right. And then it has Indian Springs written across the front in faded screen print lettering. And it has a distressed Indian head, Native American head, in between the Indian and the Springs. All right. So this particular sweatshirt, I've only seen it in this heathered or weathered college gray, and I've seen it in navy. All right. Either way you go, you're winning. All right. If you can get your hands on this sweatshirt, and you will need to be a fan of the sweatshirts, which if you're not a fan of sweatshirts, I'm not understanding what you're doing with your life, but this is one of those ones that you should have in your collection. All right. Now we finished the look off with this sports coat. All right. This sports coat is Polo Blue Label. It has the extra wide lapels that comes with vintage Ralph Lauren looks. All right. It is a 2-button beauty, single vented, flat pockets. It has a pewter blue heathered base. All right. And the plaid is a Gurkha tan, boating khaki, and cream. All right. Now, this is a wool specimen, right? This thing of beauty is a heavy wool specimen. All right. It's not tweed, but it's a heavy wool specimen. All right. The way that this pewter blue comes out of or sits under or complements the plaid pattern, it's just it's very easy on the eyes. It's a thing of beauty, right? No one is going to mistake this sports coat for something modern, just because when you look at it, if you know anything about vintage sports coats, right, between that wide lapel and just what's going on as far as the color palette, you know this is a vintage piece, right? You know this is a vintage piece. Again, the fact that it coordinates extremely well with the necktie and the shoes is what helps everything really stand out. But without these greens, the way they pop subtly, without the Indian Springs being a conversation piece, do you still get the same viewing recognition for this sports coat? Maybe if you do it with something a completely different ensemble, maybe. But it's the greens, right? It's the greens that are exuding that country vibe, right? It's the greens that are pulling out that bygone era that this sports coat represents. Now, for our second look, we definitely have less green than our first look, right? But the green is so rich. The green is so rich in this look. And the fact that everything else in our look is of an earth tone vibe, then it makes this green really stand out, right? It really stands out. This is a beautiful forest green hue here, right? Forest green and a turtleneck, right? So you have a lot of richness going on with this particular look, right? So, but like I said, it's the only level of green that we actually have in this look. Okay. But this look is a total ranch vibe, right? This look is a total ranch vibe. So if you have business or pleasure on a ranch, a farm, out in the country, this is a perfect go-to look, right? Whether it's just vacationing or you're actually going to work, because this look could be a work look. If you're going to work on the Double RL Ranch out in Colorado, this is a vibe that you could definitely put together. This is a look that you could definitely put together and get your work done. All right. Definitely Southwestern inspired, country living inspired, living off the land inspirations, things of that nature. But that's just the beauty of Ralph Lauren, man. There's just so many different levels to things you can do, places you can be, and be able to put together a look that's going to fit for that, right? I've told the story before on this particular coat here, so I'm not going to go through it again, but just know this is one of those pieces for me, right? This is one of those pieces for me, and it just is. It is really just, it's one of those pieces, man. The details in this coat are ridiculous. Now, as far as our green piece, this is my second time owning this sweater because the first one got sold kind of sort of against my judgment, I should say. I'm not going to tell that story either, but just know I didn't want to sell it, probably wouldn't have sold it. That said, I was able to replace it, which lets you know that this piece, albeit vintage, albeit a sought after piece, it's out there, right? It's not going to be on the cheap side, right? The typical price point is going to probably start around $200, right? And that's if you're lucky. But that said, let's look at this ensemble so you can see how I pieced everything together. Start at the bottom. I have 3 pair of riding boots, right? So I had 3 options. I went with what I would say is the least horseback riding option that I have for equestrian boots. All right, I went with these double RL engineering boots. Now they're an engineering boot, but you know, if you need to jump on a horse, you know, move a herd, whatever the case may be, they work just as fine. They'll work just as fine. All right, double RL boots, Gurkha tan, just a beautiful riding boot. All right. Trousers, I went ahead and broke out the Jodhpurs, olive base, brown leather Jodhpur patches, inner thigh, inner knee. All right. I went with a brown polo player belt, silver buckle. All right. Our green piece. Our green piece is the giant polo player. All right. Just look at the details here, man. The giant polo player on the horse. You can see him trying to get a good shot on the ball. All right. This is a thick wool sweater, ribbed turtleneck. It has a dark navy or even black, maybe 3 on the shoulder. There's padding in the 3 is on the side shoulder, on the bicep. There's padding on the top shoulders, all right, as well as padding on the elbow, all right. So a very thick, very chunky turtleneck sweater, man. This piece is an iconic piece. It's a sought after piece. Finish the look off with this beauty here, Polo Blue label, right? Rustic cowhide leather jacket. There are fringes on the back and the front on 2 separate areas. There are fringes along the arms as well. All right, heavily stitched as far as the placard of the jacket, as well as all other areas. All right, there is hand tooled patterns across the top, as well as on these wonderful Southwestern styled, native styled pockets. All right, you have hand tooled patterns on the pockets. The pockets are functional. They have a wonderful strap enclosure. They have the fringes as well. All right, and then we have this beauty by Double RL, this saddlebag by Double RL. It is also hand tooled leather. It's a richer leather than our coat, but it doesn't matter, man. It's about the hand tool patterns here when we're talking about this jacket and this saddlebag. We're talking about the beauty of hand tooled leather. All right. This jacket, when you're talking iconography, when you're talking about art in fashion, this jacket is an artistic expression, right? It's an artistic expression. Now, this jacket, because it's a jacket, because of the weight, and just because of how even the layest of layperson that has no concept of what style or even good fashion looks like would appreciate this jacket, right? So I say that to say this piece is such a piece of art. You could wear this anywhere. You don't have to be attending anything, right? You could throw on a pair of your favorite jeans. You could throw on your favorite plaid shirt. Hell, you could throw on a freaking V-neck t-shirt in white, right? And a pair of cowboy boots, a pair of dress shoes. Only thing I would say is don't throw on a pair of sneakers, all right? But cowboy boots, dress shoes, dress casual shoes, and throw this jacket on, and it's gonna work just because this is art. This is not a piece of clothing. It just isn't, right? You may have some people to say, man, it's just clothes, like you're doing too much. Okay, move along. I'm telling you, this is not a piece of clothing. This is a piece of art. Again, the details. All of this is done by hand, right? All of this is done by hand. Can you imagine the time consumption it takes for 1, 2, or maybe even 3 people to create this, the reason that you don't see this jacket everywhere, the reason that this jacket is not mass produced in the world of Ralph Lauren every year, every fall, winter season, is because if you try to do this with a machine, it's going to be missing something, right? It's going to be missing something. This is handmade. I want you to really think about that. This is handmade. This is art, right? And because of the hue, because of the look, because of the vibe, when you pair this with the boots, and more importantly, with this rich green, thick, chunky sweater here, wool sweater, look at the green. Just look at that green. Look at this green popping off of this cowhide leather. Look at that. Doesn't get any better. Now for our last look, we have what the layperson calls holiday tartan or holiday plaid, but we're more in the know than that, right? We know that true tartan is only holiday tartan because of the Americanization of it, right? But we do have tartans here, right? We have tartans. We have a bevy of patchwork tartans here, and pretty much all of them have some green in it, right? But our most notable and featured piece is this beautiful sweater by Ralph Lauren. All right, now, like an idiot, I waited too long to get all 3. I wanted all 3, the navy one, the cream one, and this green one, right? But I waited too long. I wasn't waiting. Here's the thing. I wasn't waiting for them to go on sale, anything like that. I'm just being an idiot. Sometimes we as men are just idiots. And when I said, you know what, it's time to go and get them 3 NYCs they got, well, it was only 2. It was only 1 left. All right. It was only 1 left. And the other 2 were completely out of stock. There was only 1 left. They did have my size, so that was good. But I went ahead and pulled the trigger. Now, here's my thinking. Ralph Lauren's base is in New York City. Mr. Lauren himself, true native New Yorker. These sweaters will be back. They'll be back on the website sometime in the summer. When they start getting ready for fall 2025, they'll bring back the other NYC colors, maybe even add a few more. So I'm not really tripping, but I do want all of them. I do want all of the NYCs. All right, but let's go ahead and look at this entire look, top to bottom. This look is just a vibe. All right, it's just a vibe. It's just one of those looks that when you feel like proving a point, you feel like making a statement, you put this on to step out. All right, nothing more, nothing less. Not for a particular event, specific event, anything like that. This is just, I feel like shitting on the world, so I'm gonna put this on today. All right, I pulled out the Chandelier loafers, right, in the chocolate leather. It was an easy pull for 2 reasons. One, because the chocolate and the leather simply, to me, flowed better than any other shoe. The fact that there was a tassel just kind of, to me, just as far as the overall aesthetic, the tassel just had a little bit more oomph to it, right? And as you'll see shortly, our coat, which is a Ralph Lauren duffel, has chocolate leather enclosures. All right. Hosiery, I went with hosiery that matched our trousers. All right. So tartan patchwork hosiery. All right. So from the Royal Stewart to the Gordon dress, to the Gordon, to the black watch, patchwork hosiery. Now the pants, Rugby Ralph Lauren, patchwork tartan pants here, Royal Stewart patches, Gordon dress, Gordon tartan, black watch. All right. Belt wise, chocolate brown leather belt. All right, nothing special, just a nice chocolate brown leather belt. Our shirt is an OCBD in the Gordon dress tartan. All right, OCBD Gordon dress tartan. So it pulls out that Gordon dress tartan that's in our trousers and socks. Our necktie is a navy-based heraldic, all over heraldic bow tie, navy with Ralph red and some gold and a little bit of green in it. All right. Our sweater. All right. Our sweater is this beautiful piece currently on the website. It's crew neck, but it leans more towards a boat neck look almost. Not quite as wide in the boat as a typical boat neck. But it definitely gives boat neck inspirations. All right. A nice, beautiful green sweater, ribbed at the cuffs, ribbed at the waist, and it has NYC or New York City in white lettering over this beautiful rich college green hued sweater. All right. And then as far as our coat, if needed, we have a Ralph Lauren Gordon tartan duffel coat. All right. 3/4 lengths. So not quite as long as a full duffel, right? But definitely comes on me, and I'm tall, but definitely comes pretty close to mid thigh on me. Detachable hood, which I took it off for this particular episode, but it really just depends on my mood whether or not the hood is worn or not. And as I stated, it has the chocolate brown leather enclosures, which if and when we do have the coat on, then the shoes make even more sense. All right, to the layperson, that is. They already make sense to us because we just kind of sort of know what we're doing. You know what I mean? That said, again, this look, fantastic look, full of greens, right? Full of rich, dark greens. Okay. In my opinion, has more of a city vibe than look one, right? Can still be worn in the country because of the patchwork trousers, right? Because of the tartan, can still be worn in, with that country gent vibe, but it's more of a city look. Definitely more of a city look than it is a country look. All right. This is a look that pretty much any gentleman that's a fan of tartan is going to appreciate. All right. Because even though you have a plethora of tartans going on in this look, nothing seems cluttered. Nothing seems out of place. Nothing seems over the top because of the pants. All right. The sweater kind of brings everything together, right? Like, for example, you have Gordon dress tartan in the pants. You have a Gordon dress tartan shirt, right? If you take this sweater off and just have the shirt, it might feel a little clunky, right? It might feel a little cluttered. The sweater covers up enough of the shirt so that you can see and appreciate the thinking here. Gordon dress tartan collar, you can see Gordon dress tartan on our pants. So you can see and appreciate it without it being too much Gordon dress up here, right? Each tartan has a level of green in it, all right? Black watch and Gordon tartan having the most green, that's where this comes into play, all right? Your white letters complement the white in the Gordon dress, all right? And it gives it a little bit of brightness, right? It's not a lot of white, but it's enough white that it does give it a little more pop, right? It gives everything a little more pop. Now, when you put the coat on, I'll put it to you like this. If I went with my Royal Stewart peacoat, my Royal Stewart duffel, right? This look probably would not be the same. All right. It would be less favorable for me, right? Because that Royal Stewart is a brighter tartan, right? So it's a little bit louder, and we don't want to be but so loud, right? A black watch duffel will work. A Gordon dress, a little bit too much white. If you have a Gordon dress tartan duffel coat, it'd be a little bit too much white for this time of year. It may work with this look. I'd have to see it, but it might be a little bit too much white for this time of year. All right. So the Gordon tartan, even though you have the gold, you have the green in the pattern, that base, that dark navy base, actually mutes everything. Right? When you put it on, it mutes everything. Right? So as opposed to being too loud like the Royal Stewart, it's actually turning the volume down slightly. Right? So wearing the coat, not wearing the coat, either way you look at it, our greens are popping. This is a shit on them look. Right? We put this on now at this point. Like if this was this time last month, then obviously because of where the majority of us live, which is America, it's going to be more understood by the layperson. Oh, okay, holiday inspirations, I get it. Holiday plaids. He's got on his holiday plaids. Yeah, okay, bro. But for us, tartan is just something that's a mainstay in the world of Ralph Lauren, and this is just an expression of, hey, man, I'm different. I'm me. We not the same. And that's another episode in the books. All right. So we just wrapped up a huge episode, right? Featuring green, right? As I stated in the introduction, there's a pretty good chance that there will be another huge episode featuring green in our warmer weather months, because we have more options as far as the shades of green that we could feature. All right. Right now, cold weather, we have no business wearing lime green. Right? We have no business wearing lime green. You probably, just depending on how bright it is, you probably want to stay away from Kelly green right now. Right? There's some Kelly green that you can rock right now, of course. Right? But you probably want to stay away from some of the brighter hues of Kelly green. Right? Mint green is more of a spring summer hue. Right? You can get away with a little bit of mint green here and there during the fall, winter, but for the most part, just, it's okay. Just stay away from it for right now. All right. What's your thoughts on green, though? Are you one of those gents who, loves green? My favorite color typically changes, right? A lot of times what happens with me is I'll fall in love with a particular color, and that'll be my favorite color from anywhere from an entire year to 3, 4, 5 years, right? The past 2 years or so, wine has been my favorite color. But now I'm starting to really, and that's why I did this episode, because I'm starting to really gravitate towards green. So I think green is about to become my favorite color. And it'll probably be that for a couple of years. I mean, that's typically just how my ridiculous Ralph Lauren brain works. But what do you think about green? What did you think about the episodes? Which look was just your favorite look? All 4 looks were pretty much like 4 entirely different looks. Which one of the looks did you like the best? All right. At the time of this recording, voting is going on for the verse assignment. All right. So I only ended up with 4 submissions. All right. All 4 of those gentlemen have been, for the most part, Patreon members since the onset, which is about a year now. We've been on Patreon now for about a year. And all 4 of those gentlemen really did a fantastic job understanding the assignment. Their entries, all 4 entries are great. I love all 4 entries. They did follow the instructions that were given, and they actually took a great picture of their layout. So we're gonna see. I haven't looked at the current poll results. The poll has been up since right around 10 a.m. on January 7th. So I'm going to tally all votes at 10 a.m. sharp on January 8th. And whoever has the most votes will be the winner of the assignment. I would have liked to have received more entries. Whatever the reasons were that, some of you gentlemen or ladies did not submit anything. It is what it is. I'm sure there'll be another contest coming up before the world ends. So there'll be another opportunity. But good luck to the 4 gentlemen that did enter that did submit assignments. All right. Not this episode, probably the next episode. I'm not going to do it now because, I'm just going to say there's 1 or 2 reasons I don't want to go into this right now. But I would be remiss if I didn't talk about what was going on at Fox Sports. I have to talk about it. And we're going to. I'm just not going to do it right now. Like I said, there's 1 or 2 reasons why I'm not going to do it right now. And I'll even tell you what those reasons are when I do get into this business. All right. That's a mess over there, boy. It's a mess, but we're going to talk about it. And I'm going to be honest with you. I ain't going to talk about it from no unbiased point of view. My POV is completely biased. My POV is going to be completely based on sexism, racism, double standards. Listen, we're going to talk about it. But until then, in between now and the next episode, whenever it drops, have a great week or a great couple of days. I don't know yet, but either way, be well, do great, and get you some. And always, 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 always remember that artists paint pictures and haters paint narratives. Y'all have a good one.